Everybody, we are back. It is Taped on Live, Favorites podcast, Favorites channel, Favorites everything. We are back. You guys already know what to do. Hit subscribe button, subscribe. Hit the like button if you like it. Hit the dislike button if you don't like it. Leave a comment if you like it. Leave a comment if you don't like it. Also follow us on Twitter at the Mark John NFL for me, at BD Williams 18 for BD, and then pandasubs.com. Panda Supplements. Use TDL for 35% off. Greetings, everybody. People coming in here. Definitely, we're in the middle of the third round. Yaya Diaby just went to Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 82. And we'll talk about a couple of the picks the Raiders make, and then we're going to go through the pick 100 live here. So on the channel, we're going to be going over to see our reaction to pick 100. Good thing you didn't see my reaction to pick 70. So that would have been definitely about it with viral if I did that. Definitely with viral with pick 70. But do like the first two picks for the draft. I really do enjoy those. So how you feeling today, BD?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, I will reserve my criticism until I actually sit down and watch this guy, number 47 by Byron Young for Alabama. Yeah. I think we're gonna. One thing is for sure, we're gonna have film on Alabama.
Yeah.
I'll be able to watch multiple seasons of this guy, so
Yeah.
I will be extremely well informed. It's not like this is some random school or something like that where I'd be I might be able to find one tape of this guy. You know what I'm saying? So I feel very confident that I'll be able to give you guys, a really good assessment of what this guy Byron Young is all about. Just looking at a couple things, right? Like production, not a guy that, got a bunch of counting stats, made a bunch of impact stats, impact plays. You were saying that you watched him and he wasn't a guy that you thought made very much of an impact. And also it's not like you can go and say, oh, well, he blew up the combine or his athletic profile is insane, because we were looking up his numbers and it doesn't look great. Right. So he also could have been hurt during that time of that testing as well. But there's not a lot of great things to say besides the fact that he played at Alabama. Right.
Yeah, basically. But, I like the pick at 35. I really do. I know some people wanted the Raiders to still go corner, go defense, and that was kind of a missing piece. But I knew they were going to like Michael Mayer. I thought he was going to be somebody they really keyed on, because the thing is, when you go through their profiles, he is exactly what they want. He's 250 pounds. He runs a 4.7. For some weird reason, they don't draft tight ends that don't run 4.7s. Don't quote me on that. I don't know why, but he runs a 4.7. It's so weird. All the tight ends they drafted is 4.7s and up. So he hit the mark. He wasn't below a 4.7. Hit the 250. He has the size, all the athleticism that they like. I think Mayer is a perfect fit for this offense. That's what I really like about him. If you were talking about scheme fit player in this draft, it is Michael Mayer. He's going to be able to run the juke routes. He's going to be able to run the block. He's going to be able to run up the seam. Perfect fit. So that's why I really like that pick. When I went over the tight ends with Matt Holder, I added him in as a luxury pick just because I knew they would like him. And if they traded back, that was a guy that they would key on if they did trade back. And they ended up getting him at 30. They ended up trading up because he fell way too far. I can't believe Laporta went over him. Laporta can't block like he can. And he's not that much of a different. I mean, Laporta is a really good route runner. But
yeah, well, I mean, what I like about Notre Dame tight ends is they do, like you're saying, they come in ready to block. This is not going to be a learning curve. Teaching this guy, he's coming from Notre Dame. He's at some of the best position coaching in the country. The way that they go about their business over there, you get a tight end from Notre Dame. One thing's for damn sure, he's going to be able to block his butt off. All right, so from that perspective, I like that. You're saying good things about Michael Mayer. What kind of receiver is he? Is he a guy that stretches the seams? Is he a guy that maybe he's a savvy guy, finds those underneath creases, and maybe he just does his work underneath. What kind of receiver? Like, how does he do his damage?
I think he's a good receiver. Honestly, I think it's low key great. I think there's a lot of things that he can do really well. I think he's a really good route runner. I think it's a really underrated part of his game that people don't talk about. He knows how to beat press. He does a lot of good head fakes. I posted it on Twitter. There's a route where he fakes a dig route and hits that out route. He does pretty well there, and he can hit the seams up there. You can do play action, and he can hit him on the flat. He can make guys miss. There's a lot of things that man could do, man. That's why I thought he's the best tight end in this draft, because the blocking plus what he can do as a receiver is the potential there to. He has top 10 tight end potential for sure, and if he can put it all together, he has top 5 tight end potential. So, yeah, I really like that pick. It is a steal. That's why as soon as the Lions took Laporta, Zave Ziegler was like, I'm going up to 35 and I'm going to get him, because it's just, you can't even take that chance at that point, because he had to be tight end 1 on their board. He had to be. Just the way they kind of stick to that those measurables, man, and yeah. So
yeah,
it's a really good pick there, man. I really like that one.
All right, so if you guys aren't understanding it yet, Marcus is on board.
Yeah.
With this one, I'm going to throw his RAS card up here. 7.66 RAS is pretty darn good. That means he's above average. I would say athlete, NFL athlete. The things that we're seeing here as far as like the 10-yard split and the 40 that are green are good. Everything else is probably pretty average.
Yeah.
Maybe the vertical isn't great. But
yeah, he's a good athlete. That's basically what it is. He's a good athlete.
He belongs in the NFL, but he's not a wow. He's not a wow, but to your point about what you're saying, the way that he can affect the passing game, and he's got a lot of things. The ways that what he's good at right now, is this something that he can hit the ground running, or is he going to have a learning curve?
I don't think he's got that much of a learning curve, in my opinion. I think coming from Notre Dame and just that blocking scheme, I think he's gonna be able to pick it up and understand that from the jump. And I think running routes, I think he'll naturally be able to do that and trying to understand the option routes and things they like to do there. I think he'll be able to pick it up pretty quick. So I think he's gonna find a way to be playing early. I think week 1 you see a lot of Michael Mayer. It's not gonna be a lot of Austin Hooper, OJ Howard. OJ Howard is brought in to block. I think he's a pretty good blocker when I watched him on film. A better blocker than I actually thought going into it. I was actually pretty impressed with some of his blocks, and that's what he's brought in to be too. Just in case they couldn't get a guy like Michael Mayer, right? They're gonna have OJ Howard be the blocker. Austin Hooper can't block, so he was gonna be the spread out tight end type of guy, whatever. But now they have a guy who can do both. So it's gonna be interesting how they can set up things, and and I think it actually kind of takes less targets away from Devontae Adams, which we always that we want more targets for Devontae. So getting less players, the guys who could do more. You can block. You don't need to put so many tight ends on the field all the time. If you want to go to 12 personnel, you can, or you can live in 11 with Michael Mayer. So and get into those passing offenses you like, but so.
Yeah, I definitely like it. As far as like a pick that suits this team, this offense, this scheme, all those things. Like, yeah, that looks good, and I'm always on board for tight ends from Notre Dame. Gotta say. All right, so we can transition here. Talk about the third pick. This Byron Young. Maybe get into hit him a little bit, or do you have any? You don't have any film of Michael Mayer that you wanted to get in? We can do that at a later date, right?
Yeah. I have some, of course. I watched a lot of film on him, so see any comments here.
Yeah,
people compared him to Jason Witten. No. I wouldn't say that. I mean, I think that's just easy to do, but I mean, I can see it, I guess. But I feel like I know because I think he's a little bit more fluid than Jason Witten was. I think especially as a route runner, he can definitely get up the seams more. I believe too than Jason Witten did. So because I feel like he's more Mark Andrews as a receiver, in my opinion. But he just was a way better blocker. You know what I mean? So that's kind of how I look at it. It's more like that as a receiver. I think it's really underrated part of his game. Like like the whole kind of people are like picking him apart a little bit because he's not as athletic as Kincaid and all these other guys, and I think that's why they're knocking him a little bit. But man, I think he is clear. It's pretty clear he's the best tight end in the draft to me, in my opinion.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, and we did like the Wilson pick. We did like that. We did a breakdown on him. Yeah, we like that pick. Mayor and D. Oh, Dave Casper went to Notre Dame too. Oh,
there you go.
Goes to the post.
There you go.
Goes to the post. All right, so let's you want to talk about Byron Young a little bit?
Well, I mean, I don't have too much more to say. We could throw his RAS card up here for some additional analysis. I mean, honestly, the hand size and the arm length is bananas.
Mm-hmm.
Insane arm length, and I mean, 11-inch hands is freakish. That's like a circus act at that point, So, that being said, that vertical looks pretty terrible. I don't know if he had a hamstring, and maybe that's why he didn't, run the 40 or do the short shuttle.
Mm-hmm.
But, maybe he pulled a hamstring at the combine with that in that jumping that vertical, pulled a hamstring, and that was it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's not like the most inspiring thing. You're telling me that the tape isn't super inspiring, so we're gonna have a microscope over this one for sure. Byron Young. Here, actually, let me pull up his college stats.
Yeah, I think he had 4 sacks last year. I saw. He's 8 sacks in his career. A lot of his sacks are cleanup sacks, though, from Will Anderson.
Yeah, of course.
For me, just watching him on film, I mean, when you play with somebody like Will Anderson, and he's lining up on different parts. He lines up with different parts of the line, so he's doing like 3 tech, he's doing 1 tech, all these different types, right? But even though he's only 294, he's getting pushed around a lot. I think he has really high pad level, in my opinion. It just doesn't make a lot of impact. There's a lot of things that when you take a guy at 70, because it's still a high third round. I think 70 is pretty high third round. These are top 100 players. I just don't see Brian Young as a top 100 player. Like even at the one-on-ones in the Senior Bowl, really didn't see anything from him. You saw guys like Keanu Benton. Keanu Benton made money at the Senior Bowl. His film was not that great, but he went to the Senior Bowl and was kicking those dudes' butt. And same thing was like Zach Pickens from what's his name? Zach Pickens from South Carolina. His tape wasn't the greatest either, but he was just murdering people at the Senior Bowl, right? Byron Young was just kind of boring. Didn't really do anything at the Senior Bowl. So that's what it was for me. But you saw a lot of those guys go early for defensive tackle, and maybe that's what a need pick. Maybe that's why they reached on him because Pickens and all those guys went through. You know what I mean?
They most likely, what you're saying is they had guys in their sights, and those guys started dropping like flies, and it was a panic.
Yeah.
That's definitely likely. Yeah. I mean, he definitely has a strange body type too. It seems, being like a guy who's like 6'3", but under 300 pounds, and you're telling me he's more of like a run stopper.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna have to watch it. For the record, he is credited with 7 sacks on the season. For 2020.
Baltimore took
2022. With 2 of those going up against Clemson in what I'm guessing is a playoff game. So 7 sacks on the year for Byron Young, which actually isn't bad.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
And then are you looking at the guy from Tennessee? Make sure you're not looking at the guy from Tennessee.
Yeah, I am. You're right.
I was like, this is some great stats, man.
It's funny because I accidentally did that earlier too, and I was like, oh no, not Tennessee, wrong Byron Young.
Wrong one, bro. No, that's not the right one.
All right, here we go.
That one definitely wouldn't bother me as much because he's athletic as hell. At least he's a freak. And because even Diva Warrior is on the board, and he hasn't gone yet. But man, I'm surprised he hasn't gone. I mean, if they can find a way, to get him too, I think that's a kind of a stack up that defensive line a little bit. He's a freak. At least he's a freak, you know what I mean? At least he's just a freak in nature. You want to bet on those type of guys, you know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah.
So Trenton Simpson off the board. Did you watch Trenton Simpson at all, BD?
No,
you don't watch. Didn't
get around to linebackers this year. I think I maybe watched 1 or 2 linebackers.
Yeah, because I talked to you a little bit before the show started. Simpson, he's a box safety too. I think he's just he's learning how to play linebacker. So we kind of see it on tape because once Venables left, right? Because he was Isaiah Simmons, and then
was he?
Yeah, and the Venables went to if I'm even saying that right, I don't know if I'm going to say this right.
Yeah, Oklahoma. Yeah,
he went to Oklahoma, right? And Simpson stayed, so he started playing. He played a little bit of inside linebacker this year, and it's just what it is. Like he's not trying to take on blocks and stuff like that because he really was playing safety for the longest time. So it's going to be interesting to see how he finds a way to play linebacker. He's got to learn how to play NFL linebacker. He's got to learn how to come downhill and stuff like that, and see how that works. Or is he better as a move guy like a Jeremy Chan or something like that? That's for the Ravens to figure out, and I'm pretty sure they will. They're smart.
Trent Simpson. I didn't realize that he was out there kind of playing in the overhang Isaiah Simmons role. I remember watching, or I do remember watching a Clemson tape, however, and noticing that those guys are still moving around like crazy. So it must be a huge headache to even watch any Clemson defender. They don't line up in the same place like some teams.
Yeah. Yeah, college football is so weird, man, with these defenses these days. That's why it's so hard to translate. But like he's athletic as hell, though. Trent Simpson is an athlete.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, he went nuts at the combine. Can't do what he did at the combine and not be an athlete, Yeah, he went nuts. He went nuts.
I'm just not a fan of this linebacker class at all. I mean, a lot of people like Drew Sanders. Drew Sanders can't tackle. That's why I was excited he went to the Broncos. I'm like, oh, him versus trying to tackle Josh Jacobs is going to be funny. Because he can't tackle nobody. All he does, you can even go look up PFF. It's like 18% missed tackle rate. He just, that's what I watched on tape. It was like, this guy.
Yeah, I mean, they're gonna blitz Drew Sanders. He's gonna take Jimmy Garoppolo out for the season, though. He might not be able to tackle, but that boy can rush.
Yeah, that's true. As he can blitz, man. But you try to play linebacker. Like said, he's been more of a defensive end than a linebacker to me.
Yeah, I agree.
Because he can.
That's interesting. That's an interesting player. I like Drew Sanders. I like big guys who rush the quarterback. Like what's not to like there?
Yeah.
But the NFL has a poor track record with guys who it's like, what position are you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not. What is Drew Sanders? He's a linebacker who rushes. Does he have an actual position in the NFL? Like he's going to have to learn how to play an actual NFL position and not do that kind of gimmicky fourth rusher adding on from wherever he, kind of thing that he was doing over there at Arkansas. But real quick, while we're killing the time here, because we still got like 10 more picks to go.
Yeah.
Before the Raiders are on the clock. Give me a team right now, because I mean I have one that's like a super obvious in mind, two actually that are coming to mind. But give me a team right now that you think has had a really good draft, or they're taking players that you like.
I mean, the easy one is the Eagles. I think the Eagles are taking a lot of good. I think they're taking a lot of good players that I like. I mean, they took Jalen Carter, they took Logan Smith. Um, it, I think the Seahawks are having a good one. Seahawks are having a really good draft, I believe. They got another good defensive player, I believe. And then what's his name? But then they got Charbonnet, which kind of was funny. But I really
They
like
got Charbonnet, yeah, they got Charbonnet.
Charbonnet's a really good player. Really like him.
KJ Wright coming out here. 12.
My fault. Yeah, and they got Seattle also got Jackson Smith and Jigba. Yeah.
Yeah, so they got a good draft. I think the Colts have a good draft too. They got Brents, who fits Bradley's scheme.
Yeah, Colts was the team that was definitely coming to mind. Obviously, they got our favorite quarterback, and then they get Brents, and I was pretty high on Brents.
Mm-hmm.
Here, I'm trying to see who else they got in Indianapolis. Let's see here. Oh, and they also got Josh Downs, who you talked about on the channel. That's who I was trying to remember. Yeah. So I mean, in Indianapolis, that is the first one that came to my mind. We talked about all three of those players that Indianapolis picked on the channel here. I actually kind of like Detroit's draft so far. I know it's a strange one. But Jahmyr Gibbs in the first round, Jack Campbell in the first round. They went running back and linebacker in the first round. PFF nerds are crying themselves to sleep last night. They went nuts. I'm sure they were so mad. They got Sam Laporta. You talked about Sam Laporta, earlier. You spoke on him. He is a great receiver. And then this Brian Branch. From Alabama, I thought that was a fantastic value pick. He's a guy. I think people were overthinking it a little bit because he went to the combine and he didn't blow it out of the water. He just kind of checked all the boxes. It wasn't like a spectacular performance or anything, but Brian Branch definitely he's one of the best DBs that's coming out. So he's going to be an impact player for them. So and then Hendon Hooker they got, who's kind of like. Well, I think Jared Goff. That's pretty similar. Hendon Hooker, Jared Goff. It seems that seems like pretty complimentary in terms of a backup to Jared Goff right there. So, I honestly I'm looking at Detroit's draft and I'm like, actually, I'm liking these players for that team and some of the players just overall.
Yeah, I like the Lions. I mean, the Lions are. That's a good draft. I think Hendon Hooker. He his tape is a little up and down. I think third round was a good value for him. Actually, probably where he should have went.
Right.
So I think it was a good thing for him. So to go there for sure. What else you like? Any other ones?
Well, let's just pivot real quick and let's start talking about the AFC West rivals. So you mentioned that Broncos took Drew Sanders. Let's talk about the Broncos draft here. So they got Marvin Wims, round 2, pick 32. Marvin Wims, technically round 2 pick. Or I'm sorry, Marvin Mims from Oklahoma. Drew Sanders from Arkansas, and then Riley Moss, corner from Iowa. Talk to us about Marvin Mims. Is this going to be someone that Raiders defense going to be having a headache with?
Yeah. Marvin Mims. He has a chance to really be a great deep threat, man. I think that's somebody else probably want to replace with KJ Hamler. I mean, KJ Hamler's been having injury issues, so he's a perfect KJ Hamler replacement. Marvin Mims, somebody the Raiders were looking at too. I mean, they had a couple of visits with him. Actually, just a visit with him at the combine, an actual formal visit. So he's a player that runs a 4.3. Had a great year with Caleb Williams the year before. He didn't move, to USC with everybody else. So he's kind of stayed there at Oklahoma. So I think he had a little bit of a down year because of that. But I think it's a good value to get him where they got him because you run a 4.38, you're good.
Right. Yeah. And also Drew Sanders. We talked about him a little bit. Riley Moss, corner from Iowa. He was a guy that I actually didn't get around to watching. On my corners this time around. I'm really glad I didn't watch safeties. I've been so upset if I was watching all these safeties and they weren't getting picked. I'd have been upset. All right. Let's pivot over here to the Chargers draft so far.
Riley Moss is a zone corner. I watched Riley Moss. He plays that Iowa zone cover 2 that they've been playing for like 800 years. Every time somebody drafts a guy from there, they don't play well. So that's what, That's it's the same system they've been playing over there with Kirk Ferentz for years. Same cover 2 zone. So he's a great cover 2 zone guy. Yeah. That's what Riley Moss is. So, I mean, you put him in zone, but, I mean, I don't know how much cover 2 they play over there in Denver. They don't play a lot. They play a lot of more man coverage. That's a weird fit, in my opinion. It's a weird fit. With Patrick Surtain, you play man. What is he going to do? I don't know. He can't play man. He's not good at getting man. He's not. So.
Yeah. We'll see. I mean, third round most likely won't be playing much at the start, but could be a guy who gets thrust into starting action at some point. That's how it goes in the NFL. All right, so switching over here to the Chargers, while we're still buying time here, I'll go through their picks real quick, and then if there's any guys that you want to comment on, round 1, pick 21, they went with Quentin Johnson. They always pick the same kind of guys over and over and over. It's so funny. Quentin Johnson, wide receiver. Round 2, pick 23, or pick 23 in the second round, pick 54 overall. Tuli Tuipulotu, you talked about him on the channel before. And then round 3, pick 85 overall, Dion Henley, linebacker from Washington State. I have watched Quentin Johnson. I have watched Tuli Tuipulotu. I'm not familiar necessarily with the linebacker from Washington State, but any of these guys that you want to comment on from the Chargers?
Yeah, Quentin Johnson. I think it's an interesting fit for them because I feel like he's not that much different than Mike Williams. So I thought that was an interesting fit. I think Mike Williams is a jump ball kind of deep threat guy, and he is a post route, deep route type of wide receiver. He doesn't really run really great routes. He's a little stiff, kind of the old school big stiff guy. So, but he's great in the open field and yak. So I mean that's something they really like to do with Justin Herbert is all those yak passes. So you could just throw a slant to him. He can make some bunch of guys miss and make plays in the open field. So that's the best thing he does. He's a yak monster. Right, he's going to make dudes look silly in the open field. I think he's going to have a little trouble getting off press, though. He's going to have to figure that out because you saw Julius Brents was kind of locking him up because of that. So he's going to have to figure that out and try to get better there. But we'll see.
Yeah, Quentin Johnson, I agree. He's very similar. And they've had remember Tyrell Williams. I mean, like that's like the mold of what Quentin Johnson is. Obviously obviously much higher caliber prospect, coming out. But I am not, I came away not actually extremely impressed with Quentin Johnson's film. And I think maybe just because we've seen so many just filthy wide receivers coming out and, in recent years since we started doing the whole draft Nick thing, watching, these guys coming out and just the amazing talents and everything like that. Obviously it's easy. Like your grandma could watch Quentin Johnson and be like, wow, that's a big guy who can run fast, but like the little things I wasn't like super wowed about, like his skill level or like the nuance that he was running his routes and, is he getting guys stacked consistently? Is he throwing the foot fires and the jabs in there and, like showing like he's a technician. Like I didn't come away like, whoa, wow, this guy is like lives, breathes football or anything like that. Obviously big, fast, strong guy who can jump high and comes down with some spectacular catches and everything like that. So he's got a lot to work with, but like I guess in other years, I don't know if he's a first round pick.
Yeah, me either. I don't think so either. So, I mean, I like the Thule pick though. I think the Thule is a good fit for them. Somebody that can kind of groom behind Khalil Mack. While Khalil Mack kind of fades away a little bit as he ages out. I think Thule is a good pick for them. Who's the third round pick?
Deion Henley, the
Yeah,
a linebacker from Washington State.
as long as the Raiders run power right at him, they'll be fine. But he's pretty good in coverage though. Pretty good coverage linebacker. You just run right at him though. Just have a guard coming right around. He's not gonna want it. He's not.
Yeah.
He's not
the thing, the thing. Yeah, we can group Henley in here maybe a little bit, but with Tuli Tuipulotu, he's gonna play this year. The way that Brandon Staley and the Chargers, the way that they like to use their personnel is they like to get everyone in the game. So especially with these defensive linemen, and as far as like their pass rush and how they like to get the personnel groupings in there, no one sits for the Chargers. We're going to see everyone on their film. Everyone who's healthy, and dressed for the game is gonna get in there. So Tuli Tuipulotu, I fully expect to see him, in some little stretches going up against the Raiders this year when you're doing the breakdowns for them. So we'll see how effective he can be, but it just adds another element. It just adds another pass rush element to that, Chargers defense. I watched their defense mostly just like as a fan, like on Saturdays.
Yeah.
How would you say Tuli Tuipulotu is against the run? Like, is he, how does he do setting the edge and everything?
He does pretty good setting the edge. I think he's a pretty good player there. I didn't get to watch too much Tuli, to be honest. But I mean, I think he's a pretty good setting the edge from what I've seen for the games that I watched. But yeah, not too much. I'm kind of upset the Chiefs drafted Wanya Morris though, the right tackle.
All right, yeah, let's transition into the Chiefs.
I'm not happy about that one.
We'll get into it. Wanya Morris, he can definitely run around. Big guy. He looks like he can move. But Felix Anudike Uzoma was their first round pick, round 1, pick 31. An edge from Kansas State. Kansas State had some guys this year. Round 2, pick 55 overall. Rashee Rice, wide receiver from SMU. 55th overall pick, and then round 3, 92nd overall pick, this tackle Wanya Morris from Oklahoma. This Uzoma, this edge rusher, it's funny. I focused on the DBs, corners in this draft. I did watch quite a few Kansas State tapes, so I do have some Felix Anudike Uzoma tape on my computer, but I definitely wasn't focusing on him. Is this a player that you can speak on here?
Yeah, I watched him, and yeah, he has been really great bend. He has a lot of upside as a pass rusher, athletic freak, has a lot of moves, has a spin move, plays the run pretty well, pretty strong player. So that was a good pick for them at 32. So that definitely a type of player that can come in and develop. Especially they got that George Kalafdis last year. Yeah, they got some. They're building a pretty damn good defense over there. To be honest, I mean you already got the other guy, and you got the guy who could place Frank Clark down the line, because Frank Clark's getting up there in age, and that contract's going to start to go out a little bit. So it's gonna be interesting with that. But that was a great pick. I don't like talking about the Chiefs picks, man. They just draft well all the time. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
They definitely draft well. They almost every year they get a couple guys that I really like. It seems like this AFC West they're loading up on pass rushers here in this draft. Hopefully the Raiders can do some money ball approach and just start running the ball like crazy down these guys' throats. But this Rashay Rice, definitely. His name is Rashay for sure. I SMU wide receiver, we'll see how he gets incorporated into their attack. They'll find a way for him. Andy Reid, I'm sure, has a plan. Otherwise, they wouldn't have picked him. And then now Wanya Morris, that's a good looking tackle right there.
Yeah,
that's a third round pick. Why? Because does he have some injuries or something like that?
I don't know why he's third round pick, especially with all the other tackles went. That's a good right tackle, man. He has some really, really good tape.
That's really a good looking right tackle. Yeah.
So, athleticism. Yeah, that's a good left tackle.
Right.
Rice is. I didn't like him too much as a prospect, and he didn't have a good Senior Bowl. He couldn't get open to the Senior Bowl. Brents was locking him up. So Rice needs a lot of work, but he had a lot of production at SMU. But he didn't go to the Senior Bowl and kind of show that he should be that pick. So I thought that was a little bit. To be honest, I thought that Rashay Rice was a little bit of a reach, in my opinion.
Good.
So
like to hear that.
Good news.
Like to hear that.
This third down. This third round is slowed down. What are they doing here? This is.
All right, so we got 7 picks to go here. Steelers are looks like Steelers are about to make their pick. Although I might be a little delayed.
A little bit. I don't know. Maybe the Steelers pick early. Oh, Steelers took Darnell Washington.
I'm surprised he's still available.
Yeah, he got hurt. He got hurt. I guess he had a hurt knee or something.
He had a knee, huh? What's the deal with Tyree Wilson's foot?
It's Liz Frank.
It's a big guy.
Yeah,
to have a Liz Frank.
Yeah, Liz Frank injury. But I mean, it passed their medicals. They said they thought it was fine, but now they're saying he'll be ready by training camp. So, I mean, that means he can miss like OTAs and stuff like that, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not that big a deal.
A little bit.
I would be concerned about that, though. Honestly. Man, I thought this guy Darnell Washington would have been perfect McDaniels tight end, no?
Yeah, I thought so too. But the thing is, Michael, as I said, Michael Mayer just fell to them. I think they would have probably took Washington or somebody like that later on, because he would have fit what they want to do. But man, I was surprised he fell this far. Just because he's a freak of nature. Just that big, 4'6". Just a freak. Mm-hmm.
Who's playing quarterback over there in Pittsburgh?
He's playing quarterback in Pittsburgh?
Oh, yeah, Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, Kenny Pickett, man.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, wow. Michael Wilson from Stanford goes 94, huh? Top 100. The Senior Bowl, man. These Senior Bowl kids. So Will Levis messed up. He can go to the Senior Bowl.
Well, he messed up for sure. Stanford wide receiver, okay.
He had a great Senior Bowl. Great Senior Bowl.
Yeah, this guy looks good.
Yeah. So that was a pretty good pick for them.
So Mapu went 3rd round?
I think so, yeah, to the Patriots.
What'd I tell you guys?
Yeah.
Also, I will say this, that my top 5 corners plus my 2 honorable mentions, and I said both those guys' names. I said right after the breakdown, I said honorable mentions: Deontay Banks, Emmanuel Forbes. The 7 guys I named were the first 7 guys picked. So,
hey,
No Keely Ringos. Come on, Keely Ringos. Who was saying that? Get out of here with that.
Keely Ringo.
If someone had Keely Ringo in their top 5, you can't listen to them anymore after this. Do not listen to them.
I don't think did someone have Keely Ringo in their top 5? I don't know.
Bucky Brooks had him in the top 5 the entire time.
Did he?
Until like last week.
Bucky Brooks won the state championship just running the football, which I think is funny. They threw the ball 8 times or something like that.
I love it.
Bucky Brooks. Yeah, man.
Cardinals not doing too bad either. Cardinals having a pretty good draft too.
Yeah. Cardinals doing
like, yeah. Philly getting another pass rusher at the end of the first round. It's pretty funny too. See him do that.
Miles. So yeah, I mean the Bengals not doing too bad either. Yeah, DJ Turner and Miles Murphy. Did you watch DJ Turner?
Yeah, I didn't like DJ Turner.
No.
Well, I wasn't a fan.
This is a good point about Bucky Brooks. The Ahmad Brooks.
Wow.
He had Hendon Hooker as his third quarterback.
Yeah. I think Bucky just wants to be different sometimes. Like he's just trying hard to go against.
He was Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, Hendon Hooker. Wow. Over Anthony Richardson. Interesting. Bucky.
I also think Bucky Brooks stops watching like a long time early in the process. Like people are making their big boards and he's done watching already.
Yeah. Well, him and Daniel Jeremiah, they covered the draft all year, basically. Move the Sticks podcast. They do like NFL stuff, but
yeah. I'm saying there's a difference between hopping on a podcast and actually watching. Okay, trust me, I know.
Yeah. Because it does interest me when these guys they start off with the top 50s, and then like you release a top 50 without watching everybody's tape. And then you watch more tape, and then your top 50 just changes. You have a totally different top 50 by the time you get to so. What tape did you watch originally to come up with the top 50 and this whole scouting report? You just like make it up. It's interesting to me.
Yes.
It's like these guys.
They put their list out. They put their list out, and they spend the entire rest of the draft process justifying their list. Like that's what it is.
Who's the best interior O-line available? I see that question now. Who is available right now? It's like a draft board or something. All right, we're getting closer here. Jordan Battle just went. Safety from Alabama.
I like Jordan Battle actually.
He is the best. Who I like? There's some interior guys that I still like. Chandler Zavala. Chandler Zavala gone? Let's see. Someone take Chandler Zavala.
I saw your Avila got picked early in the second. That was one of the first guys off.
No. So Zavala's still in he's still there. That's a guy that I really like from North Carolina State. Definitely a mauler. Great understanding of everything. So, I mean, if they don't draft a corner, I would definitely be surprised. You see that question?
There are no corners worth drafting right now.
No? You don't think so?
Nah, at this point. Wait.
You don't think they'll take Ringo right here? They might.
I would be so down on that pick right there.
You're not a Ringo fan at all, yeah.
Well, I guess we're gonna be at 100, so that's
you're just saying. Now we're at like better value here, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, have the Roy guy, Anthony Bradford from LSU, sleeper O-line prospect guard that I like. That I think they might like too. Big guard, LSU. I still think they took Brian Young because they didn't have an SEC guy yet, and they felt like they weren't building a good team without this SEC guy. They needed a Bama guy. Needed a Bama guy.
Your draft class has no chance unless you draft someone from Bama. Set them all straight.
Yeah, so Anthony Bradford, I like Olu. I love Olu from Michigan. If they're gonna draft a center, I love Olu from Michigan, bro. That's I think that guy's a super underrated player. That is somebody that I would like. If they're gonna start reaching on guys, like reach on Olu and have him come solidify the center position, because that dude is he's the fourth round center there. Everybody's like, oh, that's a center, and he comes in and he starts for 10 years. That's that type of dude Olu is. Because I know you try to say his last name right now, but that dude is a pretty good player, man. Olatami, there you go. Yes, Oluwatimi. Oluwatimi. I gotta get this.
It's pretty good.
Oluwatimi.
It's pretty good.
He is a stud from Michigan, bro. I'm telling you. I like that guy. So there's still some good interior O-linemen. Probably the best players available right now, in my opinion, are interior O-linemen. I mean, unless you're going to take like Darius Rush from South Carolina, which there's going to be a little bit of a reach here. See, these guys went to. Don't say that, Delroy. That's not funny. Prime time for a running back. That's not funny. That's not. Oh, God. Man.
Damn it, Delroy. You're right.
Dwayne McBride, bros, is 5'11", 215, guys, and breaks a lot of tackles, shared carries. Dwayne McBride. I don't think he shared carries, but he is 5'11", 215. I just want to say that. Dwayne McBride. You know, so yeah, because to be honest, I mean, Zamir White. Whoa, man! I didn't like that pick then. I still don't like it now, because I mean, you always gotta ask yourself, would Josh Jacobs be on this team if Zamir White actually showed any bit of anything last year? You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
So I guess it's a good thing then that they didn't hit on Zamir White.
Yeah.
Anything can still happen. Anything can still happen with the guy, but
yeah. You know, I just think some of those issues I always had is early on.
That they brought in Brandon Bolden, they brought in Amir Abdullah, they also drafted that Britton Brown guy. They better not draft the back. Like, maybe you're not telling me one of these backs that's available right now is going to move the needle more than all these other freaking guys that you added.
Right. They re-signed Amir Abdullah. They did. I forgot about that. They did re-sign Amir Abdullah.
Yeah, right.
And I still like Britton Brown. I did. I feel like they should try to give him some carries late instead of trying to run Jacobs into the ground with those two useless games. Yeah, where's out of the playoffs? We want to see what Jared still looks like, but we're still going to give Josh Jacobs 20 carries a game.
Right.
You know? See, I don't think any linebackers are gone. I mean, is Noah Sewell? See, I
don't think he goes.
Linebackers. Ricky Stromberg just went. That's a good player too, center from Arkansas. I think they go interior line here. That'd be the smart thing to do. That's probably the best value here.
I'm with you 100%. We're seeing interior offensive linemen go at this point in the draft. Yeah. Like round 3 guys, you want the guys who, you know, get their lunch pail, put their hard hat on, they're going to come to work. And, you know, like, you get the guards, you get the centers at that stage. Plus, like, let's be honest. Okay, a 3rd round guard, that's essentially like a 2nd round caliber player.
Yeah,
like, you know, like, you're never gonna get a guard drafted in the 1st. Doesn't matter how good you are, you know. You got to be the president's son or something like that. But it's extremely rare. So any guard that gets taken right here at this point, you could say, yeah, he was the 100th player taken, but he was probably better than that even. So I'm a fan of taking guards in like the third round. I think it's great value for those. I mean, there's tons of cases where these guys, these interior offensive linemen, they get drafted in the mid rounds. Right here, they have very long careers in the NFL.
Ika just went to the Browns. I could have been one too.
All right, so Siaki Ika, yeah.
What's up with ESPN and these outfits they have them in, bro? Like, why do they dress them all like they're like the rappers, like they're about to drop rap albums? Like, you should have saw the outfit that Tyree Wilson. He looked like he was about to drop the hottest R&B.
Oh yeah.
Like he was depressed. Like he's depressed, about to drop a lot of attitude and singing, man.
Yeah,
great. Like, what do they got these dudes wearing? But I like Whiteler too. Whiteler is a good one, but he's a center. Whiteler is damn good. He's a good player. I like the center from Oregon. I can't think of his name right now too. There's so many good linemen left, bro. That's what I'm saying. They should take.
San Francisco made the pick already. Picks in. So Raiders are on the clock here, guys. Raiders are officially on the clock. We're talking about best interior offensive lineman available. Is there just best overall? Who's best overall still available right now?
Probably Zavala. I think Zavala is probably up there. I'm trying to remember who's available at this point. That's what I was trying to. Wish I had like a list of people just getting knocked off. But I think Zavala's out there. The dude from Oregon is a good center. That's a really good player. I see Adiba Warre. He's still on a big old defense. There's Ringo. Ringo's not a bad pick here at 100. The Niners just took a kicker. What the hell?
Niners took a kicker? Wow.
There's DeJuan Jones too. There's him. There's he's out there. So let's see what the Raiders do here. But I mean, yeah. But they might go take a corner. I mean, Corey Trice. I talked to you about him a little bit. He's long.
I don't know about Corey Trice. Corey Trice is not getting picked right here. After I watched his tape, I also don't think Corey Trice is a corner. I think he's a safety in the NFL. Yeah, but the corners to watch, though, obviously we've been talking about Keely Ringo, and then I also think I've seen Terrell Smith named Minnesota corner floating around here a little bit as well. So yeah, so we'll see. There's also the safety J.L. Skinner from Boise State. If they decide to go there, he's a big guy. He's like 6'4". So those are the guys that I'm seeing off the top. Like you said, DeJuan Jones is a name that's still available. A.T. Perry from Wake Forest. I think you told me you watched him.
I'll do a varsity. That'd be crazy. I'd be mad.
And then Voorhees. Andrew Voorhees, the guard from USC as well. But yeah, it's definitely getting to the point of the draft where this is.
The Raiders draft Trey Tucker.
Trey Tucker, huh?
Who's Trey Tucker?
Trey Tucker, wide receiver, Cincinnati. Marcus.
Is that real? Is that
5'9", 182? Is that who the Raiders took?
That's what Aaron Wilson just tweeted out. I don't know if that's right or not.
All right. Well, I'm not seeing it on the broadcast yet.
I'm gonna assume he's wrong. Who's Trey Tucker? He's from Cincinnati.
Cincinnati wide receiver, 5'9", 182. 28 and 7/8 inch arms, 8 and 5/8 inch hands. Wow.
So, God damn it! Please don't tell him. So my mock draft was. All right, here we go. I'm just gonna assume that guy's wrong. Right? That's what we're doing.
Let's get one of the guys that we were talking about here.
No, Trey Tucker, wide receiver, Cincinnati. Yep.
Well, first things first. He is tiny, fantastic athlete, but he is a very, very small individual. Marcus, you were talking about how they need a slot. You brought that up.
I did try to warn everybody. I did warn everybody. I tried to with the Josh Downs pick. I tried doing my mock draft. I'm like, they're going to take a wide receiver early. And here we are. I didn't know it would be Trey Tucker, but I knew this was going to happen. They studied too many of them. There's too much studying in them, and it was just clear as day that they were going to take a wide receiver.
Yeah.
Oh, God. I tried to warn you guys. I did a mock draft. I warned everybody that they were going to take a wide receiver. I think some guys are like, oh, that's crazy. If you think they're going to take a wide receiver, I'm like, no, they're going to take one, and it's going to be early. I just wish it was Josh Downs because at least Josh Downs was a lot better to take. He went after 72. I would have felt a lot better if they took Josh Downs at 70 than this one.
Well, yeah. So someone said he's a return man. So not a punt returner. He did return 22 kicks in 2021. 25-yard average, one return for a touchdown. That was 2021. 2022, Trey Turner returned only 9 kicks. His average went down a little bit. So I don't know if he's necessarily, maybe, he'll definitely get a shot to be a specialist and be a return guy. It looks like, he had a big game against Central Florida. I'm trying to find a game maybe that we have tape of Cincinnati offense off the top of your head. Do we have Cincinnati offense? I don't think we do.
I have it from 2021 with Desmond Ridder.
Yeah, that's true.
They had a combine visit with Tyler Scott.
So yeah, he had a couple big games, he had a couple big games in 2021 that you might want to go through.
Man, see, I knew it. I knew they were going to take a slot receiver. I'm upset though. This is something I'm very upset I'm right about. But this is why you guys come to Tape to Line, man, because where you hear the truth to be disappointed. Man, they literally met with 5 slot receivers at the combine and with top 30 visits. So it was going to happen, and I was trying to just do, if we're going to do it, let's do Josh Downs, you know what I'm saying? But we're going Trey Tucker from Cincinnati. So let's check out these highlights. Let's get some highlights because I've never watched them. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Never watched them all in my life because I just didn't study wide receivers like this and didn't think it would get this deep. But we're taking we're taking Trey Tucker. They need to get faster, though. I think that they needed more speed. I'm trying to be positive here, guys. I'm trying to be the positivity here. Damn, but you're gonna get his flag, man. Put some. They're gonna take us down.
Yeah, day 2 shit.
But yeah, that's all we got, guys. It's. I saw it coming. I tried to warn everybody about this, man. It's
I'm not,
yeah.
I guess the argument is it's it's a wasted pick. Is that what the argument is?
Yeah. I guess the argument. See, to them, is it though? That's what I'm saying. They don't like Hunter Renfrow. So I mean, that's kind of what we're learning. I mean, this is a big we don't like Hunter Renfrow type of thing. You know?
Okay. First things first. This guy can move.
You
all right. He's in the slot. He's in the slot right here. If you guys can see my mouse, he's blowing the top off. I don't know what happened to that throw. If that quarterback got hit while he was throwing or something.
No, Ritter hit that dig. He's anticipating the dig route and the dagger.
That's a touchdown right there that he missed. From 7 right there. He's number 7 in this one. Slot. Honestly, look, they're saying he's 5'9"?
Yeah. Yeah, Clark Phillips is still on the board. Yeah. See, but the thing is the Raiders picking 9 picks. So that's kind of the kind of weird aspect of this is the Raiders picking 9 picks. So, what do they do with that? They pick pretty soon here. I guess that's how you could be positive about this.
Yeah. I like that.
You like the positive spin?
We're gonna be.
I'm trying here, man. This is not, you know.
All right, I think this is 7. Yeah, he's going in motion. Okay, he's definitely their featured guy in terms of they're lining them up off line of scrimmage and motioning them. They're giving him had a little fake screen to him earlier, getting a little quick out kind of stuff here. I mean, that's a gimme. It's got 1-on-1.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll tell you what, he can move. He's a good mover. He's, you could tell that. That's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
Not in.
I just know. I just hope these guys get these interior linemen get this going because I don't know our defense. We don't have to get any corners yet, have we?
No corners.
Duke Shelley, David Long, bro. Duke Shelley, David Long.
That's who it's gonna be. It's gonna be Duke Shelley. I'm actually. I think.
Yeah. I don't know.
This is Well, I mean, I need to see some.
There's really nothing else happening. Huh? Yeah, because I never really heard of Trey Tucker. I'm not gonna lie. I really. That's what I'm more. Like damn.
Okay, look at this. Look at this play here. He's gonna go get the over route. Okay, he knows he's gonna get hit too on this one. You told me, is he finding the sweet spot in the zone right there?
It's good anticipation throw too.
Gets smacked. Let's see, is it a good hands catch? Did he
body?
It's behind. He's got to adjust. So
yeah, I mean, yeah, because I think Ritter's trying to keep him from getting killed.
Yeah. All right, he came out after that. After he took that shot.
Yeah, Dorsett is a camp body. Yes, he is.
Who is a camp body?
Philip Dorsett. He's making like $800,000. He's like,
Philip Dorsett. Yeah. All right, here we go. Trey Turner.
Are they giving him the ball?
Yeah, he got a little handoff there. You said he's making doctor money. I like that. Send your kids to med school, guys. Trust me. Let's see. What happened to him? They just gave him one.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me look up this. This is 2021 against SMU. Yeah. So here's a couple more. He has a couple more in this one.
Okay. This is a different game?
No, same game. Here we go.
There you go.
Does he come down with it? No. What happened? He was too cool.
Do a wide zone on that one.
Yeah. You mean the end zone?
End zone? Yeah,
angle?
Start over.
I'm at 33. Yeah, it is going to start over. I hate it when that happens. All right, whatever. All angles.
Yeah, starts over. Yeah. Yeah. Interesting pick here, man.
All right, let's see. So he's in the slot. I think he runs that little lackadaisical. You got to go up for it at that point and moss the guy. He had a chance.
Also, you want to see a little bit more. See a little bit more of a just a little more wiggle. Make course more separation because he just ran past the guy.
I mean, he killed him. Look at the separation.
I know, but
far. But I mean, like, if you're gonna get underthrown, like this, you can't be like this cool. Well, side note, he makes turning his hips and running backwards while in full speed look very easy, which is not an easy thing to do. So he's obviously a really good athlete, but you got to turn around and high point it right here. You can't be this cool. Like you can't be so chill.
Yeah.
He left money on the table right there. That would have been a big time touchdown if you just tried to moss him. That's too bad. This is, mind you guys, this is from 2021. We're watching 2021 tape because this is when he was playing with Desmond Ridder. So this is what we got right here for you guys. Don't ask for anything from. Trust me, no one watched Cincinnati this year. Okay.
Yeah, because that's the other reason we have is because of Desmond Ridder. Right, shout out Desmond Ridder.
Yeah,
quarterback pockets. Don't sleep on Desmond, man. Fourth quarter Desmond. Don't sleep on him, guys. I'm just letting you guys know that. So? Don't sleep on the game manager, the king of the game. He didn't throw a pick. Not like any of his rookie starts last year. He only threw 2 touchdowns, but he didn't throw any picks. They won 2 games.
All right, he gets targeted here. I mean, he's sitting in that low zone. This is more about after the catch.
There's good anticipation throw right there. Than me watching the quarterback. Don't sleep on Desmond, man. That's what I wanted the Raiders to draft from Ridder last year, like that 3rd round, so bad. No joke.
All right, we're about to be through here. Do we got any questions in the comments?
No, just people just asking why are we taking corners? What's wrong with Keely Ringo? Some bad things about him too. So,
all right, hold on. Is this a touchdown here? I don't think it's a touchdown. He's not credited with 1. What happened? Did he drop another one in the end zone? He caught it on the 1. That's what it was. He faded into that one. I mean, he caught it. It was a comeback catch. So got that guy with a little double move there.
That's what Hunter Renfrow can't do is run down the seam like that with speed. That's what he wants.
Yeah, it's the explosiveness is obvious with this guy. Yeah. I mean, look, that's firepower. I like that. I like firepower. Like I'm not gonna ever. You know what I mean? Like, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, I'm not surprised, but you just wish that. I mean, there's some players on the board that they could have got, but they picked again. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. All right, so we got a little bit over an hour here. We did some analysis. We talked about it. Do you want to talk about Keely Ringo here? Do you want to get into Keely Ringo or just?
No, we'll see what happens because at 109, I think, like I said, they're about to pick tomorrow. I think we'll see how that goes. How many questions we got? I see how many drops we have. I don't know, guys. We're gonna be doing all brand new on Trey Tucker from here on out. We did not deep dive.
We did not. Know about Trey Tucker
because I don't think Matt Holder. Me and him, we even on our podcast about tight ends, we talked about how we were holding out that the Raiders were not going to do this. But we were going to watch them because they're not going to do it.
Yeah,
but they did it. So here we are. Yeah, It's gonna be interesting. So I'm gonna have to figure out all about Trey Tucker, man. We're gonna figure it out. We'll talk about it more tomorrow, probably do some more in depth on him. I'll watch some more film on him too tonight. See what's going on.
I'll take a look at that Alabama guy. Byron Young. So
we'll convene tomorrow, guys. We'll come back tomorrow. End out this weekend for a little bit. Give you guys that draft coverage that we do every year, and finish out tomorrow. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you guys stayed the whole time, that the last couple picks were interesting. The first two were great though. We like the first two. You nail those first round and second round picks. You usually do pretty damn good in the draft. I think those are the ones you need to nail. They nailed those.
Gotta nail those. Nail those.
We'll be live tomorrow for the instant reaction. Probably not the whole draft, but I probably have the 5th or 6th round probably go live. So, Yeah. All right, guys.
All right, dope. We out here.
We're out here, peace.